Small airports have been a gathering place for many, many years for people. It was actually back as World War II was approaching that the government built literally hundreds of airports for both training purposes and also relief. That's how Easton came about, and I think 1943. But then after the war, they became places where people learned to fly, communities gathered. Pretty soon it brought economic activity to towns and cities. We have a saying that if you build a mile of road, you can go a mile. If you build a mile of runway, you can go anywhere in the world. And really, the United States is blessed with these public use airports, over 5,000 public use airports in the United States. And then private strips, I think takes a total of about 18,000 actually. And there's private strips on these farms around here, and it's farmers use them, and oftentimes they'll allow those of us who would fly light aircraft to land on their property and do training. But we do have airports they're available for public use, kind of fall by the wayside. Typically, what happens is they lose community support. They don't protect the area around the airport, so they have sound and noise issues that cause problems for them. They don't really become part of the community. They're more isolated. And many times, and we studied this at AOPA, there's a series of factors like they're not paying their own way, they're costing the city more, fewer people are using the airport, and pretty soon every community with the needs they have today says, well, wait a minute, we're spending a lot of money to support this local airport. What are we getting in return? And when they start asking that question, you're going to be in trouble. So some do close. My observation has been that airports really can and often, many times, do benefit the local community. First of all, they bring people into the community from really anywhere in the world, but here we sit in Easton, gateway to the Eastern Shore, and this is a place that people come and from here go to many places to shop, to eat, to live, whatever. You have communities in areas that actually grow their airport with industrial activities surrounding the airport. Businesses come in. So if that's what you want to do, if that's the direction the community wants to go, that's possible. I guess the other part of it is that we have a pilot shortage in this country. And these small airports have traditionally been the place that thousands of people of all ages, but certainly young people, go to engage in flight training. And so it's a real asset to be able to offer that kind of activity at small airports and began to develop the interest in people in aviation who probably wouldn't travel necessarily an hour or 2 hours, 3 hours to a major airport, and even if they got there, that's an intimidating place to train. Yeah. So a smaller community airport is a much friendlier place to train. This country has done a lot to maintain its airports. They're a national asset. Part of the FAA's budget is dedicated every year to an airport improvement program that provides millions of dollars to local airports to do improvements on the airport, to extend runways, to improve taxiways. Here in Easton, this airport has received some of that money for very important projects where the federal government pays a significant amount and the local community pays a small amount. It's actually a very good return on the investment. I have flown in and out of the Easton Airport, I think, since I came to the Washington area. I had an aircraft when I got here in 1981. I love the Eastern Shore. It helps when you have a restaurant. Somehow pilots and donuts seem to go well together. I don't know what it is, but it was always a nice place to fly and have breakfast and bring people. Spend a little time looking around. It's an advantage to have an airport this close to the center of a city. That's unusual, actually. About 2 miles away, I think. So that's a real plus. Easy to get into town if you want to go look around and do some shopping. The airport is very well run. It's got good management. It has a contract tower, meaning that it has an air traffic control tower staffed by private individuals from a company that does this all over the country. Very capable, absolutely follows the same rules and regulations that that federal air traffic controllers follow. It has state-of-the-art technology in that tower. There are approaches here that are just as good as commercial airports. So it offers a lot of advantages for pilots. It's an excellent place for flight training because you have a tower and you have all the sophistication that goes with that. No, I think this is a very strong and solid airport, and I think the care that's been taken to develop around the airport is extremely important. You have sort of light industrial activities around the airport, maybe farm agriculture around the airport, where the housing and other areas have been further removed from the airport, so you're not encroaching on the airport space with houses and that sort of thing. The other thing that I know just in talking to some of the folks here is that this is an airport that's open to the community. Schools bring kids here for tours. The Benedictine School, I understand, visits here, which is a wonderful program for young people with special needs. And so you have a kind of like the Easton itself. You have a airport community that's welcoming and enjoys having people. And